Okay, hello everybody. My name is James Healy and I'm a student recruitment and admissions officer as part of the E3 team here in the Faculty of STEM in Trinity College Dublin. I'd like to welcome you to the event we're having today, which is exploring creative digital technologies. We're going just to kind of run you through what you're going to do today. We're going to kind of run through the structure of the three courses we're looking at, which is the interactive digital media, music, media and technologies, and the MSc Computer Science in augmented and virtual reality. So as I said, we'll take you through the course structure. We'll take you through what kind of the skills that you'll pick up studying these courses and what kind of careers and options that will be available, opportunities that will be available to you after you finish studying with us. So we have a little presentation that I'm going to show, and I'll just put that up on screen for you guys now. Okay, so hopefully everybody should see that now. Um, so just to start off, I'm just going to run you through the panel today. To speak to us, we have Dr. Gareth Young, who's the course director on the MSc in Interactive Digital Media. We will have Dr. Enda Bates, who's the course director on the MPhil in Music and Media Technologies. And Dr. Michael Manska, who's the strand leader on the MSc in Augmented and Virtual Reality. And later on in the Q&A, Dr. John Dingliana will speak to us as well. He's the admissions lead for the overall for the MSc in Computer Science, and he's also an assistant professor in AVR. We also are very fortunate to have a few students here today. We have Diane and Rose, who are from the IDM program, and Kevin, who is studying on music and media technologies. Rose is actually a graduate from the IDM program, and she's now studying for a PhD here at Trinity. Just to kind of, before we talk about the actual programs themselves, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about a new initiative that Trinity is engaged in at the minute. Trinity is embarking on an ambitious project to expand education and research activities across three of its schools: the schools of engineering, natural science, and computer science and statistics. This expansion of the three schools is being implemented as a joint initiative referred to as Engineering, Environment, and Emerging Technologies, or just shortly as E3. And as part of this initiative, we will build, and I have pretty much now built, a new multidisciplinary learning foundry for the delivery of research and teaching within the schools. We're also going to increase the number of STEM students within Trinity by over 1/3 in the next 10 years. And we will also, what this whole initiative is trying to do is trying to provide a future-proofed education for new graduates so that these graduates can go out into the workforce and help plan and develop a more sustainable and equitable future. It's driven very much by a vision of a society where the interdependence between technological innovation and our natural world is advanced by this type of education, or more simply, balanced solutions for a better world. And this initiative, as I said, brings together these three schools, and included in those are the three programs we're talking about today. What you can see here now on your screen is a kind of an artist's rendering of the Norton E3 Learning Foundry. Now it's nearly complete. It's going to be kind of handed over to us within like the next few months. We do expect that students that start in September 2025 will be working in this building. What's important about this building is that it's a new state-of-the-art learning space for students. It's exclusively based around student education. So there are no offices for staff. It's essentially teaching spaces like teaching rooms, lecture theatres, that sort of thing. But most importantly, labs and maker spaces for students to work on their projects. And we hope that this will foster a spirit of collaboration between the three schools as part of the E3 initiative. As I said, the building is now almost complete. I was fortunate enough to be able to tour it recently, and I was very impressed by the facilities that it has to offer, in particular those maker spaces that will be available to, particularly to postgraduate students working on their projects. And as I mentioned before, there's the three programs we're talking about today. They all span a creative space within the technology sector. And it's important to recognize that it's not only what the message in the media is, it's important to how we kind of communicate that to to the wider world. And a big part of that will be this need to kind of to get the message across about climate change, but it also is to kind of balance that with the ever-growing interest and adoption of digital media. So technologies like augmented and virtual reality and AI are only going to get more and more important in this debate as we go on. I'd just like to give you a little brief introduction to the School of Computer Science and Statistics, where the master's degrees in interactive digital media and augmented and virtual reality are based. The school is an internationally recognized center of excellence in computer science and statistics. It's the #1 ranked school of computer science in Ireland, one of the leading schools in Europe, and as a result, we consistently attract the highest achievers both from within Ireland and globally. The school delivers a world-class educational experience through its faculty members, each of whom are of international repute. We have an extensive track record of active engagement in industry, whether they are a multinational or a startup, delivering research that underpins the reality of these commercial challenges. The school provides a friendly collegiate environment which allows and encourages individuals, teams, and groups to excel. And with that, I will hand over to Dr. Gareth Young, the course director for the MSc in interactive digital media.
Thank you. Yes, I am here to represent the MSc in interactive digital media. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm here just to talk about the exciting program that we offer. It's designed for creatives. So you're all in the right place if you have that sort of mind. We're also looking to push the boundaries in terms of the use of digital media and technology. So one of the interesting things I think about this course is that it's open to students from any discipline, as long as you have a 2-1 or higher and can demonstrate literary, artistic, or creative ability. We don't just look at your academic backgrounds, we value creativity. And if you're shortlisted for interview, you will be asked about many elements of creativity that you may excel at in different areas. Once students graduate from MSc, they usually go on to secure roles as diverse as app developers, UX, UI designers, game designers, and product designers across tech, media, and design industries. They can go on to work for companies ranging from your average startup to major players in games, media, or other technologies. Um, of course, academia is another exit point, and we have graduates from IDM on this call today. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat, and I'm sure they will be very quick to respond. So some of you might be asking why choose this course. Specifically, it's designed to bridge that gap between technology and creative practice, and it helps you to develop technical design and critical thinking skills that you need for working in the interactive digital media industries. So I'm just going to now explain what the program actually involves. If we could get the next slide, please. So you'll see from this slide that we run over 3 semesters, and the first semester is all about building those fundamental skills in programming, interactive media, and storytelling. And you'll be expected to take 5 key modules that span both semesters. So items like programming for digital media, you'll learn about coding for interactive applications. You'll learn how to design and build web-based interactive content. You'll also be expected to explore things like narrative, game studies, and digital ethics, which makes us quite unique in an MSc context. You'll also get hands-on with sound, video, and other interactive sensors, and you'll learn about graphic design, 3D modeling, and animation as well. In the second semester, you're expected to build on these skills, and we'll introduce more advanced tools and concepts like advanced game design, media aesthetics, and emerging technologies like extended reality. We also look into legal and ethical issues with digital media, and we get really hands-on again with video production and visual computing. You're also expected to work on a 12,000 word research paper, which can be quite intimidating in terms of word count, but it's quite creative in a sense that you can choose the topic, like it's something that you're interested in and want to pursue more. So after building these skills, students move on to is often described as the most exciting part, where they bring all of these skills together to work on a major project. Next slide, please. So the final semester, the summer semester is taken up by the students working in teams together to develop real-world interactive media projects. You can see many of them on the website. Mads and myself are very proud of these. And they take many different forms, such as interactive installations, games, or design immersive experiences, combining everything that has come before it. The projects are showcased at the annual IDM exhibition, which has been historically held in the Science Gallery, which gives you also a platform for showcasing your work to industry professionals as well as academics. So if you're interested in this program, like I say, it's perfect for anybody who wants to bridge or combine creativity with technology. If you're passionate about digital media and want to work at this sort of intersection of design, programming, and modern day interactions with digital technology, this course could be a good fit for you. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions about the course, about admissions or career opportunities, I'll try and get back to you in the chat as well as later, perhaps. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Gareth. That was really interesting. Let me see. Let's push on. Okay, so we're going to hear now from Michael, who's the course director for the MSc in Computer Science for augmented and virtual reality streams.
I guess I have to switch on my microphone. Yeah, hi, welcome everyone. Yeah, I want to talk a little about the augmented and virtual reality strand. So that is a strand that is part of our MSc in computer science. It's basically divided into a number of different strands like data science, future network systems, intelligence systems, and one of them is the augmented virtual reality that we are talking about because it's the closest to kind of creative technologies. So unlike the previous degree, you may be creative, but that's not a necessary requirement. Our module is not module, our course is more technology oriented. So we try to educate you on the underlying technologies for creative technologies. So how does VR glasses work, how to program them low level, programming at various kind of levels. You will be taught by people that conduct research in this kind of domain. Yeah, so in general, I'll probably on the next slide, I'll talk a bit more about the details, but fundamentally we try to really, yeah, we can talk about this here. Thanks, that's fine, that's fine. So how do we go about it? So we go about it having basically 2 terms. That's like 12 weeks before Christmas, where we have term 1, where you have 30 ECTSs. That depends on how many ECTSs a module consumes, but usually it's 5. So you will have 5 different topics that your modules that you will have to take, and you have to, most of them examined by coursework. 1 at least is examined by an exam at the end of the semester. So then you have a break, and you have a next semester where you again do 30 ECTSs, which is just a number of hours that you basically should use to learn this topic after Christmas. So why this is happening right at the beginning, we need to team you up with a supervisor for your dissertation, because in the 3rd term, over the summer, you have to write a research dissertation that is also 30 ECTS. So in terms of volume, the time that you have to spend with it, it's equal to those 2 previous semesters. So effectively, you have 3 of these kind, 2 taught and 30 of those. We start teaming you up with the supervisor at the beginning, and there will be quite a significant break in terms of weeks between the 1st and the 2nd module. So you have time to prepare yourself in terms of background research towards this dissertation over the Christmas period. Then you do the 2nd term, and afterwards you start with your dissertation that runs right to the mid of August, so that you will effectively make your 90 ECTSs for an MSc in the 1 year. And usually that's not the case, if you should fail or you decide you want to leave, you could leave after the 2 taught modules with 60 ECTSs, and you would get a postgraduate diploma. Yeah, that's more or less to the structure. If you take the next slide, I can talk a little bit more about what's happening in it. So there are modules, for example, machine learning, research method, advanced software engineering. Those 2 modules are shared with the other strand in our MSc, whereby the other ones are all modules that are more or less specific to our strand. That doesn't mean there are only students from our strand in those modules. They are also taken by students from other strands that show an interest and that they have the prerequisite. Okay, so there would be computer vision, computer graphics, maths of light and sound, real-time rendering, real-time animation, augmented reality. So they are very technique-driven. So you take those modules all together, and then that gives you the foundation to prove your ability in consuming research work in your dissertation, where you basically have to inform yourself through publications and come up with some form of research question and implement that. And in terms of research dissertation, you on the right-hand side, you can see a number of examples for like topics on these kind of dissertations. So as I mentioned before, they're very much research-driven. Also, what you see is just some images. Obviously, doing what we do mostly is related to either processing in computer vision, what we see with the machine, or we synthesize images. And that's obviously all about. And you get the opportunity as well establish portfolio of images and also, yeah, video games or anything along those lines that you can present to potential employees. On a previous slide, you saw like examples of employment opportunities that one has. So that it's quite a breadth of opportunities that you would have. If you look at the next slide, you can see a facility that we have for MSc students. So we have a dedicated lab. In fact, we have another lab, and then what was shown at the beginning with E3, there will be more space available. So the new building will be online soon. And that gives you access to quite good hardware and a good space to yeah, learn basically what you need to cover in those modules. There will be a reasonable amount of taught modules, but I would say that almost 2/3 of the time you will spend on conducting coursework rather than sitting in lectures. So it's yeah, you spend a lot of time basically doing coursework, and you have maybe 15 hours or something during the week lectures. And then obviously you have this kind of master apprenticeship kind of relationship with your supervisor that guides you through to the dissertation, and then you're encouraged also to work with your peer students on topics. And again, here on the right-hand side, you can see some examples of companies and employment that our previous students, our alumni, went to. I think we have one more slide that just talks about like our research group. I might have to explain that we, as academics in the School of Computer Science and Statistics, we organize ourselves into research group. That means that there are a group of academics that have a common interest, and we form these kind of groups, and ours is the graphics and vision discipline, and obviously that lends itself pretty much to the Strand. So the Strand is more or less driven by the people that are part of this group. So what do we cover in kind of academic terms? So that's everyone that teaches on that module conducts research. So we teach students at every level, undergraduate, master level, and PhD level, and we conduct research at the same time as well. So we are 11 academics. We have currently 5 research students that we postdocs, and then we have 25 PhD students and quite a few, obviously, of MSc students that do their dissertations as well. And we cover all kinds of things like virtual human animation, perception, augmented virtual reality, graphics hardware, real-time rendering, and so forth. Yeah. So, and the MSCs that are associated with our group, the previous one, for example, and the one I'm talking about, are closely related to this. Okay, I think that covers probably what I have to say. Yeah. Sorry,
Thank you very much.
I hope I didn't take too much time.
No, you did. That was great. That was wonderful. That was a great overview of the program. Thank you for that. We're just going to move on to our kind of the third program in our session today, which is the it's an MPhil program in music and media technologies. It's unlike the first 2 programs. It's based actually in the School of Engineering. So I'm just going to give you an overview of our School of Engineering. It was founded in 1841 and is one of the oldest engineering schools in the world. Our courses are accredited by Engineers Ireland, so applicants can be assured of the quality of those courses. The school consistently places highly in world rankings, and the academic staff in the schools are experts in their area, and many of them have kind of links with industries and businesses, and many of them have, in fact, founded their own businesses. In the school, there's about 60 academic staff and about 110 research students. So if I can just hand over to Enda to talk about the MPhil.
Sure. Thanks very much for the introduction. So hi everyone. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of our program. So as has been mentioned previously, it's an MPhil in Music and Media Technologies, and the reason for that is that it's a very strongly interdisciplinary program. The program first started back in 1998, so it's been running for quite a long time, and was originally a collaboration between the School of Music and the School of Engineering, although since that time we've become fully based in the School of Engineering. But the title of it as an MPhil reflects the fact that it is very strongly interdisciplinary and involves bringing together both creative arts practice and also technological development, which is why it's an MPhil rather than an MSc or an MA. And one of the characteristics features of the program is the breadth of kind of coverage involving music and media technologies and both creative composition in terms of music, both electronic and acoustic, but also then visual kind of composition as well as various more technologically focused programs as well. And fundamentally what we're concerned with in this program is developing new forms of art and creativity that is enabled by new technological developments and the kind of cyclical relationship between those two domains. So all of our teaching staff are practitioners. They're active composers or audio engineers or the technological kind of developers. And similar, I suppose, to the interactive digital media program, our eligibility involve a portfolio, a creative portfolio, and we include a very wide definition of creativity. This can include creativity in the technological domain in terms of software development and programming, but also obviously music and a variety of art forms as well. And fundamentally, we're seeking people who are interested in doing new, innovative things in music and in multimedia. So we don't require a degree in a specific discipline, and indeed our applicants come from a wide range of different backgrounds. But we are looking for, again, that minimum standard of a 2-1 degree, which is kind of across the university as a whole, a creative portfolio, as well as an interview. In terms of the content of the program, then again, this reflects the interdisciplinary nature of it and the kind of the breadth of the program. So there are 2 core modules which all students are required to take. One of those is a research methods module, which prepares students to engage in their final thesis project in the 3rd semester, as well as psychoacoustics. And psychoacoustics is a module which gets really to the core and cuts across everything we do, in that it involves the acoustics and the physics of sound, but also our perception of sound and audiovisual content as well. So that is those are the 2 core modules which all of our students are required to take. And beyond that, then students can select from a very broad range of different electives, which I'll go through more in the next slide. Those are arranged across 2 semesters, as we can see here. So in semester 1, there are those 2 core modules, which are 5 ECTS credits each. And then in addition, students can select from 4 different elective modules from the list you can see here. So again, this ranges from sonic arts, more electronic music composition, electroacoustic composition, as well as more technical modules like creative coding, audio engineering, and introduction to Maximus P, and multimedia content such as visual music as well, which covers both the production and development of video editing and effects, as well as the kind of creative use of such technologies as well. In semester 2, then, students have just an entirely selection of elective modules, which will generally be 6 electives unless they take motion picture engineering, in which case it will be 5, because that module is worth 10 ECTS. And again, there's a very broad range of modules here, some of which are a continuation of the modules in semester 1. But we also bring in some new content, such as programming interactive systems, looking at microcontrollers and sensors, and the development of applications using these technologies, and also the creative use of these as well. We also cover spatial audio, looking at how various kind of technologies like Dolby Atmos and binaural audio can be used in applications such as VR and AR, as well as cinema and of course music as well. And we also then have a dedicated module on XR, so VR and AR development, again with this strong focus on kind of creative work combined with a kind of the technological discipline of creating this type of material as well. In semester 3, then, we have the thesis project, which students conduct individually rather than as a group. And again, much like the course as a whole, the topic for this thesis project can be very, very broad and can range from much more scientific, technological focus in terms of software development of music applications or acoustics or psychoacoustics research, all the way through to very compositionally or creatively focused thesis projects, focus on music composition, performance technologies, or more generally, projects that combine these two disciplines in different ways. So again, on our showcase page of our website, you can see lots of different examples of the very broad range of projects that our students have engaged in. And all of this then culminates in the graduate exhibition at the end of the summer, in which this work is presented to the public. If we could go back to the previous slide very quickly, if that would be all right, just to kind of talk about the career opportunities. So again, as reflects the course as a whole, opportunities are varied in terms of the disciplines that people go into. Education is one, obviously, music as a whole in terms of composition, also in terms of things like sound design, and game audio would be a big area of development as well. Developing into more technological focused careers in terms of software development, working for companies like Google and YouTube and so on. Also in terms of gaming, interactive media, TV and film, radio production would be another one, as well as sound design for theater, film, and so on as well. So again, the very broad range of potential careers, which very much reflects the nature of the course as a whole, and connects strongly then to the specific area in which students delve into for their thesis project. The one final point I would make is in terms of the broad range of electives that we offer as the course. I should just point out that these are not selected in advance. In the first week of the course in September, students sit in on every single lecture, and we also have additional introduction sessions for the lectures in semester 2. And at the end of that first week, students then have to pick their electives for the rest of the year. So at that point, I think students can make a slightly more informed choice about their choice of electives for the coming year. And it's not something you need to decide in advance. So I suppose that's really all I want to say, other than just to kind of stress that we're really interested in creative people, but very much in integrating a kind of a strong theoretical understanding about the fundamental nature of these tools that we can use for creative purposes, and what kind of creative possibilities are afforded by the kind of the technology that is available right now. So as a result, we very much strongly focus on the kind of the theoretical and kind of technical skills, but always kind of allied to a strong kind of creative focus as well. And again, you can find lots more examples of this work on our website if you can find that there. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Enda. Just a kind of a bit of a background on our kind of the university and the kind of the STEM faculty's active research interest areas of interest. You can see here some of them, like artificial intelligence, graphics and vision will be kind of relevant today, and softwares and systems as well. We have 65 academic staff working in a diverse range of areas. We also house 2 SFI research centres, and for those of you living outside of Ireland, you may not be aware of what an SFI research centre is, but it's an organisation called Science Foundation Ireland, which is an organisation essentially set up by the government to fund research in the STEM areas. And we've been fortunate enough to host 2 of these research centres. One is ADAPT, which focuses on things like issues around AI, large data sets, data processing, those sorts of issues. And we also have one called Connect, which is focused on network technologies and the Internet of Things. So that's just a kind of an example of the sort of high-level research that goes on across the schools of computer science and statistics and the School of Engineering. As we may have already covered a bit, these courses are a 1-year master's degree, and that's broken up into 9 months of lectures, which will be the kind of the first semester, and the second semester are lectures, and then the third term is when you work on your thesis / project. just to go, like I know some of you attending today will have already applied, and some may already have got an offer of a place to study, but I know there will be some of you who haven't applied yet, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the application process is like. It's a very straightforward application process. You apply to us directly, you fill in an application form on our website, you send us your kind of transcript of your undergraduate studies. I know for music and media technologies, you don't always need an undergraduate degree, but you will need to send us kind of your information about work experience and that sort of thing in a CV. Also, if your first language is in English, you may need to send us confirmation of your English language ability. In addition, for the interactive digital media and music and media technologies, you will need to supply like a sample of your work as well as alongside your application. All the programs are currently open and accepting applications, and the deadline for application is the 31st of July. Here in Trinity, we're very fortunate that we're based quite close to a center of a lot of IT industries. So within about 15, we're in about 15 minutes walk of what is known as the kind of the digital docklands, where where a lot of major international companies have their headquarters. Companies like Google, Facebook, like Twitter, X as well. So these there's been a long relationship with those companies going back many years, and many of our graduates have been fortunate enough to find employment with them. Naturally, we understand that choosing to study a postgraduate degree, particularly if you're not from Ireland, it's a big question and it's a complicated question for you. And in some ways, who better to ask than our own students? So we have a facility on our website which allows you to connect with a student, maybe from your home country or maybe from the course that you're interested in studying on. You can submit a question to them, whether it's about the course, studying in Ireland in general, or studying in Trinity, or the types of opportunities that are kind of available to them when they graduate. If you contact them, they'll reply to you directly and give you it's a direct access to that kind of information, not mediated through the university. In addition to, we understand that it's it can be expensive to study with us, and it can be a kind of, a financial challenge. So to support students, we do have a number of scholarships available. For EU students, there's an EU Excellence Scholarship, and for students outside the EU, there's a Global Excellence Scholarship, and you would submit an application on our website once you have an offer. But particularly for students that are interested in these courses today, I'd like to draw your attention to the E3 scholarship. It's available to all of the applicants for all three of these programs today, and the value of the scholarship varies between about 2,000 to 5,000 euros each. And in comparison to other scholarships that will be available to everybody in the university, these are limited to students studying on the E3 programs. And these, in a way, are a kind of a concrete example of the support that the university is demonstrating for the E3 initiative. We would encourage anybody who has an offer or who is interested, who plans to apply for these programs, to submit an application to these scholarships. Okay, well, that brings us to the kind of the formal end of our presentation today. So now we're kind of moving into the Q&A session, where you get an opportunity to ask questions to the panel today, either the members of the academic staff or the current students. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat and we'll respond to it now. So I'm just going to have a look at the chat now and see what's available. Okay, someone's asking a kind of a detailed question about their own application. I think it's probably best if you drop an email to the E3 team about that, as that's something where I don't think that would be, we can't really go into detail in kind of individual applications, but I think if you have questions like that, it's probably best direct them to us, to the E3 team, and we'd be happy to kind of, if we can't answer it, we'll be able to direct you to the people that can. Okay, I've just got a few questions here, and I'll direct them to the panel. So just in terms of kind of the different programs, are there any unique research or internship opportunities available for the PGT students on your program? So I think if we can just get kind of, say, Gareth, would you be able to kind of start us off on that?
Sure. Well, we don't. Yeah, we have a lot of industry engagement, and we try to encourage industry people to come and give talks, but we're quite limited in terms of adding that to our classroom materials. Certainly for IDM anyway. I'm not sure about the other areas.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say as well, students are quite busy with their 90 ECTS. There's absolutely no time to do an internship. The only option you have is to do something afterwards, but I would say it'll be easier to find a job straight away afterwards rather than trying to have an internship.
Okay, yeah,
But that's obviously also a possibility.
Yeah. I might bring in the current students and Rose as well, just to kind of give a response to the next question here. It's someone just asked, what do you consider to be the most rewarding part about studying your subject? And what part have you most enjoyed about studying on the program that you're on?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, I think like Gareth said, the unique thing about IDM is bridging the gap between creativity and technology. And that's really what I loved most about IDM, which is the course that I took. I had technical experience, but I really wanted to pivot in a more creative direction. And IDM had the unique opportunity to allow me to do so. I also think that it's a very collaborative course. There's lots of group projects. The summer project is also conducted as a team. So I really valued the experience to learn how to conduct projects collaboratively as well.
Okay. Maybe I can bring Kevin in. So what have you found to be the most kind of interesting and rewarding part of studying on the MMT program?
So also for the MMT program, it would be the creative and the technical side combined together. You can explore very deep into the creative side with the help with the technology knowledge you learn from the course, and then one most rewarding part is if you want to develop your creative capabilities more, this course can help you a lot on that. And if you're very creative, but you're maybe short on the technical side, this course can also help you on that side as well. So it's very rewarding on both sides, creativity and technology combined. Yeah.
Okay. Is it, Diane, would it be a similar response for you?
Yeah, I'm in IDM just like Rose, and I feel like the main reason why I wanted to do this master was to bridge the gap between creativity and technology, because I'm from engineering computer science background, and I wanted to continue on that, but also have another perspective. And what I found really interesting is that in the course, there's a lot of students that come from a design or like UX, UI design background, which and like between the students we learn a lot because like we come from like very different backgrounds, and just like Rose mentioned, we do a lot of group projects, so we have the opportunity to teach each other, learn from each other, and that's like the main thing that I like about this master.
Okay. And just again, to the students, can I check with you? Have you any ideas? I mean, I suppose you're still studying and you're busy with all your projects and coursework and that sort of thing. But have you started to think? I mean, have you started to think about what you would kind of plan to do after you graduate? I mean, obviously, Rose, you're doing a PhD, so that's we know what you're going on to there. But say, Diane, have you plans to kind of for a future career?
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally I'm in engineering school in France, so I'm
Okay.
still like after this master I will have to do a 6 months internship that I'm maybe going to do in Dublin here or back in France, and then I'm planning on getting a job in in computer science. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Kevin, have you any plans yet, or is it still too early to tell?
I'm thinking about actually looking at PhD
Okay.
in the somewhere around the XR and then maybe creative side. But also I'm also looking at acoustic engineering of like career job opportunities, and it's really related to a lot of the modules that we're doing in both semesters. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's great. And kind of, Rose, could you just briefly kind of touch on what you're studying, what your PhD project is based on?
Yeah, of course. So my research area is in virtual reality. I look at social interactions in virtual reality. And it's really thanks to IDM that I discovered that I have this interest because for my summer project, I worked on a virtual reality game, and that's kind of how I got into that area.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that. That sounds like a very interesting kind of area to be interested to be working in. I'm just getting some questions here. I can see somebody about asking about sort of let me see what it is. Extracurricular activities and things. We do have Trinity is home to a wide range of student societies and clubs, which range from things related to the subject areas we're studying today, things like kind of computer science, virtual reality, that sort of thing, and then covers the range of things like sports, music, all different types of music and that sort of thing as well. So there are great opportunities for you to be able to build those very, very important social networks that will help you as a student, but also when you graduate will be something where you can kind of I know a lot of people that went to university together that found employment through their friends or that went on to found companies together. So it is something to kind of that sort of social aspect is very important and something students should really be. You'll have great opportunities to kind of expand that while you're at Trinity. I would really recommend for students to kind of take those opportunities. Can just see now, is there any further questions? I can see there's some questions about how do courses like these creative courses stay updated with the latest trends and advancements in technology, particularly in kind of things like AI, and how are those kind of affecting the teaching and learning experience for students on the courses? Maybe Enda, I don't know if you'd be able to contribute to that.
Yeah, sure. So it's obviously a very a timely question, and it is something that quite a few of our students have kind of explored in their own research. In terms of our own teaching and kind of assessment, I suppose one kind of key thing is the creative component that kind of is involved in pretty much all of our continuous assessment, no matter what the module is. And so that then kind of directs the work in a way that kind of it's more focused on the student's own original work in a very kind of inherent sense. But having said that, the use of AI in music is certainly an interesting one, and one that's been explored quite a bit, not just in terms of music composition, although that is an area of considerable interest, but also in terms of kind of audio production and music production as well. So, for example, one student I know a couple of years ago for their thesis project examined the role of AI in terms of all music mixing, and then did a number of studies comparing the performance of an AI compared to a number of human producers in terms of mixing a piece of music. This is one example of the kind of work we're doing in that area. Other composers have kind of used techniques like voice cloning, for example, in a creative way, as a composer cloning their own voice and then using and deliberately breaking the algorithm to creative effect as part of a composition was another interesting example. And other ones then are just using machine learning and AI in terms of computer mediated kind of composition. So, you know, using these new kind of technologies to create computer performers that can improvise and perform alongside a human musician. So, I mean, there's a whole broad range of different areas in which kind of machine learning and AI are kind of relevant to our program, and it's one that's set to continue, I think, for quite a while.
That's great. That's very helpful. I can see there's a question here about sort of this, particularly for interactive digital media and MMT, where someone's asking about the details on the portfolio requirement. What I mean, I could just say broadly. What I can, I'll just kind of answer kind of broadly, and if Enda or Gareth want to jump in, please do. But I think it's kind of really it's a case of whatever we are looking for, kind of a just kind of confirmation of what interests you, and we're very flexible about how you submit. We're reasonably flexible about how you submit that, but it's a case of I think you should choose a kind of a method that best showcases your ability and what your interests are, because that's really kind of what we're interested in finding out about. I don't know if the two kind of academics would like to kind of step in and sort of give any more details, but I think that's probably the most kind of there is kind of specific information on our website, but I think I'll throw it to Enda and Gareth if you want to kind of jump in and say anything.
Sure, yeah. I mean that is pretty much exactly it. We want to see creative work in the portfolio, but as I said, we do include a broad range of potential topics in that. And it's true that our students can come from different areas. So some of our students are coming from the humanities or from music or from the arts and are looking to move into more technological work. But equally, then we have students that come from an engineering or a computer science background that are looking to move into a more kind of creative kind of direction. So in that sense, the portfolio then can encompass a range of different work, whether more technologically based or more kind of artistically based. But having said that, we are looking for applicants to have an interest in kind of multimedia and music technologies and music in general, in particular kind of innovative use of technology in music. But the portfolio can indeed be quite broad, and as you said, demonstrating a broad range of kind of interests and abilities in the portfolio is good, and that can include writing, for example, as well as music, the arts, and more technological kind of programming work as well.
Right, that's great. I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything, Gareth.
Yeah, just to double down on all of the above. If you've been studying product design, you can put a portfolio in of examples of that. If you've been working on websites, you can send us a link to your website, and we can evaluate that way as well. If you've been in the arts and humanities, you might want to send us an essay. Not too long, I might add, but you know, there's lots of different examples of backgrounds coming in through the door, and you know, we have like app development that we've been sent pictures of ideas and any sort of conceptual work. Like it's one of the first things that I look at. It's probably the thing that's going to catch my eye the most. So it's a fundamental part of your application. So don't leave it out. But also don't be too threatened by it either. The exemplar work can be like your best piece of work from your bachelor's degree. Show it to me, and we'll talk about it in an interview anyway. So do include a portfolio of any shape or form.
That's great. Thank you very much, Gareth. I'm just seeing as well here, just maybe to bring you in, Michael, there's somebody has answered a question: what are the common career paths for graduates in the MSc in computer science, augmented and virtual reality? I think you did briefly touch on that, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it's mainly kind of, well, I suppose not to limit it, but a lot of applicants would go into things like computer game design and kind of other audio visual sort of media kind of rendering and that sort of thing.
Yeah, obviously both computer graphics, vision, movie industry, games. Particular vision is obviously in conjunction with artificial intelligence becomes very important. That consumes a lot of students as well. Yeah, so that it's quite what many opportunities in Google, Facebook, so forth. Many startups that operate in that kind of domain. And first and foremost, we don't really train people. We educate them to like have transferable skills, which is appreciated in the industry, I would say.
No, that's very helpful. I think we
Yeah.
we did see a list of kind of graduate destinations as well in your slide, so that was very helpful as well. I just see somebody asking questions about, does the university provide for opportunities for students to kind of connect with potential employers? I'll just briefly talk about, we have a dedicated career service who organize career fairs throughout the year. They will organize ones particularly related to certain subject areas. So there will be one say created to things like computer science and engineering as well. So with those employers will come into campus and you can meet with them to discuss kind of any potential employment opportunities they might have. Also, the career services, they do offer a lot of important services to our students, which are things like career planning, how to go about getting a job you might want, how to kind of plan out your career before you even start. They'll help you prepare a CV. They'll help you with things like mock interviews. So again, that's a kind of an important service I would really recommend people connect with. Someone's asked a question here about, are there any clubs or societies at Trinity that students who are passionate in the space in creative digital medias and technologies? So I'll just ask, say, Diana, do you know, or any of the other students, if you've been involved with any societies or anything like that that would be relevant to the student's question?
I'm not a part of, I mean, the only society I've joined is like sports related, but I know there's definitely a lot of options.
Yeah.
So you can definitely find anything that you are interested in. There's no doubt on that.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if Kevin, go ahead. Yes.
There is computer science society and engineering society, and you could go join them on Society Hub, and then to see they sometimes have some events, student events, yeah, which is very interesting.
That's great.
Yeah, sorry, just to add, a couple of students in my year were also involved in the film society, if that's something you're interested in as well.
Okay, yeah, no, there would be, I suppose, for people across the range of the programs we have today. I mean, there's things like, there's a number of music societies covering from kind of classical music to sort of modern electronic music and that sort of thing. And there are things, film societies across a wide range of film genres as well. Somebody's, okay. Let's see if there's any other. Just as we are kind of coming past the 2 o'clock mark, if anybody has any just any final questions, please drop them in the chat now and we'll try and answer them for you. If not, we will be sending out a kind of a link to we'll be sending out a link to this presentation after the event is over, so you'll be able to kind of able to view this again if you need to, and we will also be the E3 team will be available by email if you need to ask us any questions.
There seemed to be a student with a hand up. Can they ask actually questions?
Sure, yeah, I think they're putting their hand down now, but if they raise it again, we'll answer their question.
I can see it in my attendees list.
We don't see the raised hand anymore, I'm afraid.
Maybe
okay,
it's over.
If there aren't any further questions, I'd like to thank everyone for taking part today. particularly kind of the members of the academic staff and the students who took time out of their busy schedule to come and give us this presentation. But I'd also like to thank anybody who attended, and hopefully we were able to kind of give you more information about these programs and to answer any questions you have. As I said before, if you have any further questions, please at any point drop us a line and we'll be happy to answer those for you. So thank you all very much for attending, and for those of you who are interested in applying, I hope to welcome you to the campus in September next year, September of 2025.